All right. You guys ready to do a thing?
Yeah,
Sure.
let's do it.
Sunday, Sunday, Sunday.
This episode is made possible by our therapy partners, Dirty B and Pickets. From fabulous Las Vegas, Nevada, this is Pod Therapy. Real people, real problems, and real therapists. You can submit your questions anonymously at podtherapy.net or email us at podtherapyguys@gmail.com. And now, broadcasting from the churn, that's Jim, that's Whitney, I'm Nick. It's time for some Pod Therapy.
Welcome. Happy Sunday.
Sunday fun day.
Sunday fun day. Well, it's Sunday for us. Thursday for you people, or
Yeah.
Wednesday if you give us money.
A rare daytime recording today.
It's
Or-
been a while.
Yeah.
So
Or-
weird.
I mean, it may not. Could be a Tuesday.
Oh, right. Because that time that I released it early.
That time,
Yeah.
you've
yeah.
got one fucking job.
No,
and
I
you
don't.
do
I have
this-
many jobs.
You do this every week. This is
This
multiple
is not
times.
true. Every
Multiple
week.
times.
It probably
gets
happens
posted.
annually. It does happen
Yeah.
annually. That is a given. I would
Yeah.
probably even say 3 times a year. I will screw up on the posting date. It was Labor Day. That threw me off because then I was like uploading everything and I was like, oh, today's this day and it wasn't that day. And so
What?
I get it.
I don't know.
He's been releasing episodes a week early. Or
No,
a
it
day,
happened
a day
one
early.
time.
It happened twice.
No, it didn't.
It happened
happen
twice
all the
in
time.
the last month.
No.
Yes.
Did it?
Yeah.
It might have. No. Here's what happened. I released the Patreon one a day early last week.
Before that, it was the
main one.
The main one
the
went
main
out early.
show
Yeah.
came out early. So, yeah. Anyway, the point is it was Whitney's fault. And
You're welcome.
Yeah. Take
That's
the fall.
my gift to y'all. I snuck in.
Take the
Thank
fall. So to preserve
Released
Nick
it
and I's
early.
friendship.
I have my
You know
separate
what, guys?
Patreon
It's
where
my
they pay me
fault.
to do that.
That's right. I'm here to just take the hit. So, anyway, welcome to September. Hopefully, it's cooling off where you live. It's hot as fuck.
It's 100
in Las
degrees. It was
Vegas.
91
It's
on my way.
lovely right now.
No, it's not, dude. It was 106
This is
yesterday. Yeah.
I don't use the word lovely until about 98 degrees.
Yeah.
You're a big fan?
Yeah.
Big, huge fan.
Yeah.
Nick Lachey.
Yeah,
Oh,
Nick
oh,
Lachey.
don't get me started.
Hi, guys. I'm Nick Lachey.
So's
98
eyes.
degrees.
So's dimples.
That was the right band, right?
Yes.
Ah,
Well
it was
done.
a good reach.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
no, it
Yeah,
was,
yeah.
it was solid.
Yep.
I was going to try to think of a song, and
I was too,
was
but all I
striking
could
out
think
a
of
lot.
was
Yeah, I got
Backstreet
nothing.
Boys.
Yeah, I was hitting nothing but air. And then you pull out Nick Lachey, and I'm like, well, I'm not going to fucking one-up that. Like, you know, he's citing band members, even if I could remember a fucking song. Who cares?
Ask me to name one more.
Yeah. You know what?
I got nothing.
Let's do this. Name one from Backstreet Boys.
Wasn't there a Nick and Backstreet Boys too?
There
Yeah,
was.
There was.
Okay, I don't
Yeah.
know his last name.
And he had a little brother that also got famous.
Carter.
Yeah,
Yes.
Nick
Yes.
Carter.
Oh, yeah.
Very
Yeah,
cool.
yeah,
Let's
yeah.
keep going. Can you do
Okay,
one? Well,
all right.
NSYNC. I'm sure you can slam dunk
Obvi.
that one.
Justin
Two from
Timberlake.
two
You
from
get that one.
NSYNC.
Oh.
Not just.
I can do one more from NSYNC, and that is my max.
Was there JC or CJ? JC.
That feels right.
JC
There was a-
Chazé.
Oh, okay.
Okay. All
I
right.
was thinking of Fat One. That guy.
Lance Bass.
No,
What?
Lance Bass. Another one. Fatone.
Joey Fatone.
Joey
Oh.
Fatone. Yeah.
And Chris
Hemsworth.
Kirkpatrick.
Kirkpatrick.
Is that
Okay.
a
Sounds good.
We
Sure,
clean that
Chris
one up. All right, so now
Kirkpatrick,
O-Town. Yeah, I'm just kidding.
Crickets.
Nobody's talking O-Town.
Crickets.
Nobody's doing O-Town. No way. Can you do Boys to Men? Or New Kids on the Block? I'll
No.
accept one from either.
Okay.
New Kids,
Donnie
surely.
Wahlberg,
Oh.
the bad boy.
The Bad Boy. I think, was it Donnie?
Yeah.
Was it Donnie? Because I think it's Mark, wasn't it?
Mark.
No, he
Mark?
was Marky Mark.
Donnie also had a music career?
Yeah.
Oh, wow, I didn't know that.
In
Yeah,
New Kids
oh,
on the Block.
Oh,
Yeah,
shit.
that's- that-
Oh,
yeah.
I did not know that at
Oh,
all.
he was big before Marky Mark, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I think.
Isn't
Jeez.
Mark the youngest out of all of them?
I
or
think
no?
so. For all I care.
Wow.
For all I know,
Hey, he is a
he's
local.
he's a Las Vegas local
yeah,
now.
yeah,
all
we got to
right.
support our own.
He is.
He
He
sells
is.
tequila here. He's very important.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, if you'd like to hear all about the opening of football season and listen to the hosts reminisce about their time in college and how Whitney was thrown out of a Christian club for impregnating another girl, patreon.com/therapy.
You're welcome. Again, different level of Patreon. I'm just
Yeah,
saying.
there's a number.
There's a
a
number.
number. The sultry pillow fight stories.
It'll happen. We're just haggling on price.
Yeah, that's right. We've reached
I'm
an
holding
agreement.
out. I'm holding out.
Yeah, the attorney. No, yeah, get your money, girl. Get paid.
Well,
Yeah.
she didn't hold out in college. She's got to hold out now.
I didn't have to, so I can hold out now.
All out for the stories. We got some great questions here at the start of the month. The first one is a follow-up letter from somebody that wrote into us a while ago about interventions. And it says, "Hey guys, I wrote in a few months ago about planning an intervention for my dad and wanted to give an update. Sorry if this is too long, feel free to shorten it if you'd like. We planned an intervention with me, a few family members, and a family friend with a plan to have my dad go into detox right after the meeting, then go to an inpatient program immediately following detox. He was a bit intoxicated at the intervention, but we all took turns reading pre-written letters about how his drinking had affected us and why we think he needs to get help immediately. He listened to each of us share, but then at the end came up with different excuses as to why he didn't need to go into a program right now. 30 days is a long time. He'd just signed up for an online group that he was hopeful about, though he had missed every meeting because he was passed out drunk each day. He wanted to look at other options, etc.
He has a roast in the oven.
I can't go right now. Are you
Gotta wash my
crazy?
hair.
To water the roses. I have to wash my hair. The cable guy's coming. We all reiterated that this needed to happen now, and he ended up agreeing to go. We'd written out a one-page summary as collateral to take with us to the hospital, explaining why my dad needed to go to detox, and a few family members went with him to the hospital. At first, they said his levels weren't bad enough to go into detox. I'm guessing that meant his blood alcohol levels. But thankfully, we had a social worker that helped advocate to get him into a local detox program that also offered an inpatient program that he could do right after. He went through the detox and inpatient program, and before he exited the program, my family and I all met with my dad and his therapist to talk about how we can support him when he comes home. He seemed very hopeful and had a lot of good techniques that he learned from the program. He had several support groups lined up to attend just about every day for when he came home. About a week after he came home, he relapsed. He had just started a new job and showed up intoxicated and was fired. He hasn't attended any of the groups that he had talked about before, and he keeps saying that he hasn't hit rock bottom yet, which is when real change happens. My family and I were really discouraged. Even though I know that relapse can be part of the recovery process, I just don't know where to go from here. Do we try another rehab program? I also feel torn in how to approach things. On the one hand, I feel like there's not anything I can do to make him change, and he needs to find that internal motivation. But on the other hand, I feel like he's not in a place to be able to make safe decisions, and we need to step up and make those choices for him, such as having him attend another program. I've tried attending a few Al-Anon meetings, and I was a bit confused because nobody talked about addiction. People kind of just shared about how they could apply the meeting's message to work or their relationship with their dog. Anyway, that's an update from my last email. I really appreciated the advice that y'all gave when we were planning the intervention. If you have any words of wisdom, that would be much appreciated. Thank you, Anonymous.
I love the update.
Oh, yeah.
That's good to hear. And I think this is a really good question. It's really interesting. It's like the follow-up part when I feel like we normally get that initial, what do you do? But this is the reality that it's not so clean cut. Like, all right, go to that program and it'll be good.
It isn't happily ever after.
No.
This is this is a all too common reality when it comes to substance use.
So this is like really what percentage? I don't know.
High.
Like
hard to
over
say.
90%,
I don't want to say
think?
more than 50%, but
because there's so many variables that like even coming up with a number, like it kind of makes it hard to
I guess
to really sort out and make sense of it.
In your opinion or from your experience, I should say.
Here's the thing that I can say. One of the things that caught my attention was, so he goes into detox or a withdrawal management program and then goes right from there into residential, it sounds like. From there, it sounds like it was just, here's a list of meetings to go do these meetings. Okay.
Yeah.
That's not a real step down.
It's not.
No.
That's too big of a step down. So what we use in substance use treatments, we use the ASAM, which is
there a deep dive on that?
I think there is, actually. Yeah. The American Society of Addiction Medicine. It's a 6-dimensional assessment tool. And then within that, they've got different levels of care. So the way that I always like to explain it to people who don't understand is like, if you were, you're on you go to the airport, you're on one of those moving walkways. Okay. Imagine being on one that's going 30 miles an hour, right? As long as you're walking on it, you're perfectly fine.
Okay.
If you step off of that onto the ground, what can we expect is going to happen?
You're going to eat shit.
Busted.
Yeah, you're gonna tumble, right? So that's kind of what happens a lot of times when you go from like residential treatment to no treatment at all.
Yeah.
That's too big of a jump. And people, it's very common. People are going to stumble and they're going to fall because it's just, they can't handle that huge drastic shift. So what we use is we've got levels of care that step down. So we'll go from like a residential level of care to, let's go to a partial hospitalization level of care. So
Day treatment.
Yeah, it's like day treatment.
And then still sleep at home.
Yeah, or you can combine that with a sober living environment
Yes.
if they're not ready to go home yet. So now you've
that's
kind
a
of
good point.
split. You've got sober living and day treatment. And then from there, you can go down to like an intensive outpatient treatment, which is going to be like 9 to, 19 hours a week, and then from there step down to level 1, and then you gradually move down. So instead of going from 30 miles an hour to nothing, you go from 30 miles an hour to 25, and then 25 to 20, and then you slowly step it down. So I don't know. I mean, like that's the first thing that kind of caught my attention with this is it's
a really good point.
It's really hard for most people if that's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Now it's also possible that the program said, "Hey, we want you to do IOP, or we want you to do PHP."
Yeah.
And then your father was like,
Nah.
well, I'm not going to.
I'm just going to go do some push-ups at home, man.
Yeah,
I got
exactly.
this.
Yeah.
No
You'll
problem.
never hear that.
I'm going to try drinking a lot of water. You know?
I mean, I can't,
Hydrate.
Yeah, stay hydrated.
I can't tell you how many people that I've worked with that, like they go into detox, they go into this withdrawal management program, and then, they have 3 to 5 days of feeling like absolute garbage. And then on day 5, they're like, oh, you know what?
Yeah.
I feel great.
We call that the
Time to go
spin
home.
dry.
Yeah. I'm good now. I'm good. I've learned some valuable lessons.
Yeah,
Thank you.
thank
I
you.
will apply all of these.
I've got it now.
And,
Yeah.
I'm out.
I've just decided I don't think I like drinking anymore.
Yeah.
Like, but you've been inside of a hospital this whole time where that was not an option.
Yeah.
And you could not be
days and you were
discouraged.
drunk for 3 of them.
Yeah, nobody could cut you off in traffic.
Yeah.
But you're absolutely right. And we see this all the time. And it's interesting because statistically, I'm not sure quite what the relapse rate is, but we do consider relapse part of the larger picture of what recovery is. And that's something the writer said that is scientifically true. And the way we look at ASAM and the way we look at like stages of change and we look at like the progress of recovery, relapse is built in on a clinical level. Like we obviously are not teaching patients that they can do that or that that's expected. But like on the clinical, we don't tell them you get one free pass. I'm putting it in your back pocket. Use it wisely.
Yeah, you do that with the fake bag of cocaine.
That's right. Yeah. One time I did this. One time. It's haunting me my whole
One's enough?
career.
Yeah.
One was a lot.
Turns out.
One was a little more than maybe you should
More
have
than
done.
anybody else I know.
Yeah, more than any other rehab fucking therapist.
Now, to kind of touch on the relapse rates, because this is the question that I get all the time, is everybody wants to know, like, what's the success rate? How many, what percentage will relapse? And all that.
Everybody asks that.
And it's so hard. And one of the things that rehab
Almost 100.
one of the things that the rehabs used to do, then they've stopped doing it because it was absolutely stupid.
Oh, I know what you were going to say.
They're like, okay, you see 10 of you.
Yeah.
All right, one of you is going to make it.
Yeah. Great idea.
Oh my God.
Open the
Yeah.
conversation
Fuck
with
this.
that.
Like-
Yeah, so it's like, okay, cool. Well, I'm going to go home
Bye.
then since
Yeah,
the odds
so-
are stacked against me.
Steve, do you want to take this one?
I
And
may as well.
I'll be in the next class and we'll
I
just
may
see
as
if
well.
my lucky number
Well,
comes
yeah,
up.
but it's like, oh, I may as well enjoy the rest of my life
fuck
if
it.
I'm not going to
Yeah.
make it anyway.
Right.
But like,
Jeez.
I get what they were trying to do. They were trying to motivate, but that was just dumb as
did
shit.
backfire.
But
Or the other way I've seen websites for rehabs is like, these are our numbers of success. And it's always kind of bullshitty.
Yeah.
Like when you're in the field and you see the numbers and they're like 90% success rate, huh? Do you adopt these people?
Yeah.
Like, are
Let
they
us know
still
your
living with
secret.
you?
Yeah,
What is
'cause
your
that's-
magic trick? And they're like, we have a special formula that nobody else uses.
Yeah.
And like, shut the fuck up.
I
Like,
know.
no, you don't. man.
which usually means they've changed the definition of success.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean,
Or they're
so,
just fucking liars.
yeah. So
there's
what,
that too.
I mean, what do you define as success? So the example that I always used to use, and this is where you had to like look at, when you saw relapse rates, and they were saying like 80% relapse or whatever like that. You also have to look at how was that data collected. So, for example, if Jim is working with a client and this client is in there for meth and alcohol, and 1 week after they leave, they have a drink. Okay. And then they're like, oh shit, I can't do this. And then they're clean and sober for the rest of their life. How do you mark that person down in the statistics?
Right.
That person relapsed.
Right.
that's a failure.
Right.
Even though they may be clean and sober for the rest of their life.
Yeah. They had one bad day.
And so it completely distorts the statistics.
Right.
Yeah.
So there was one research project that I saw done, this is probably 20 years ago, but what they did was they changed the definition of success to look at, number one, longer periods of time.
Yeah.
Also focusing on what was their drug of choice. So like if they're quitting meth, but then they smoke weed, that we're not going to count that. Like that's, we're going to look at what is their drug of choice, what drove them into treatment. So then they're looking at that. But then also what they're doing is they're looking at compliance with medical recommendations.
Yes.
Or clinical recommendations. So how well do they follow through with their aftercare plan after leaving treatment?
Yes.
Okay. And then they compared those numbers to other conditions. Diabetes was one of them. Heart disease was another. And I forget what the fourth one was. But they were looking at compliance with doctor's orders following discharge. And what they found was that drug and alcohol treatment is on par with all of the rest of these disorders.
Interesting.
Which is anywhere from 40 to 60%.
Compliance.
So, coin flip.
Yeah.
So it's really about, it's more about implementing changes in behavior over long periods of time. And one thing that we know about human beings is we don't change easily.
It's hard.
It is, and it's and
hard
it's
to
constant work. It's not like, I mean, think of anything that you've ever wanted to do. I mean, the example I like to use is think about diet and exercise.
Right.
If you want to understand what
change is hard, man. Change is hard.
If you want,
Jacob's not even thinking about it right now.
If you want a comparison, and it's still not a great comparison. It's just not a great comparison. But if you want to understand a little bit about the life of an alcoholic or an addict, look at what has been your success rate sticking with a diet plan or an exercise plan.
Right.
Well, go to a diabetic clinic and you'll see how successful it is. I have nutritionist friends who are like, that is the hardest population. You will go through all of the things. This is your life. Your life is on the line, and they still will struggle to change. It's because
fear is a lousy motivator. It's good for an initial motivation.
Yeah, not
like I'll change my behavior today.
Right.
Yeah. But then tomorrow, there's always we've evolved to kind of work through fear. Because we've had to, on the African plains, we've had to hunt animals that could kill us. Like if we just let our fear stop us from doing things, we would have never survived.
I want to make it clear when Nick says we have to hunt animals on the African plain, he does not mean us specifically. Yeah. Nick doesn't do a lot of African plain big game hunting.
Yeah. You don't know that?
I'm betting.
Okay.
It's a betting man.
I don't know where you're getting that, but I'll accept.
I'm making a one or two assumptions.
An educated choice.
But so like if you want long-term change, it has to be something that you're going to continue to work on. I mean even for me, for exercise, like I'll do great for long periods of time, and then I'll have 1 week where I'm just like, I don't feel like doing anything, and I don't, and then I then that affects what I eat. And then my eating gets thrown off, and it'll go for a month to 2 months.
Then it's harder, to get back on.
And then finally it's like, okay, I got to get back on track. And that's me with internal motivation for change.
Yeah, right.
So if we're just talking external motivation for change, it's tough.
Well, and also I like what you said about like the walkway, the 35 mile per hour. One of the things that a lot of people don't realize is that detox and inpatient is not designed to produce permanent sobriety. It's designed to make it a fair fight so that now you can do the real work.
Yeah.
We can't do the real work whenever you're under 30 days sober or you're going through withdrawals from your drug of choice.
Yeah.
You don't have the capacities yet. You don't have the cognitive capacities yet to do the hard thing and to go through impulse control management and like trigger avoidance and like all the really hard work. So a lot of people think like, no, dude, I went to boot camp. It's done. And it's like, no, boot camp earned you the right to now be deployed and become a fucking soldier. Like, trust me, you don't know shit.
Like, well, it's a simulation. Is what it is.
Yeah.
And that's what I always used to explain to a lot of my clients in residential is like, this is our equivalent, to use a football analogy. This is our preseason.
Yeah.
Right? This is our time where we can scrimmage, we can run some plays, and if you fuck it up, no big deal.
Just trying to get you into shape to play.
We blow the whistle, we say, okay, that didn't work, let's go back, let's run it again, let's do this instead.
Yeah.
And that's a luxury that you have in residential treatment that you don't have in the real world. Because when you leave the real world, you can't blow the whistle and do it again.
Game day is after you graduate inpatient. And that's what's unfortunate because, like you said, a lot of people just think, I did the work. I did what you all asked. I did these high-level things. I shut my life down for this month, and I got this done. And that's all very admirable. It is. But this is where the aftercare plan is so important. And the aftercare plan is very rarely just attend some meetings. We're like, look, I want you to do 90 and
That's
90.
wild.
I want you to do 90 meetings over the next 90 days. Also, this is the name of your outpatient therapist. I want you in group.
There should be a discharge plan.
You need to slowly walk it down. I mean, I want people in treatment for a year. And that's always been what I've always said is whenever day one rehab people, or, usually not day one because they're sick, but like during rehab, one of the lectures that I used to give is I'd point to the clock on the wall and I'd talk about like month one is, the 12 to the 1, like that's your first month, that's here. Right. And then from like 2 to 3, I want you doing starting at like a PHP or IOP level. And I want you doing a 60 to 90 day IOP, so I want you going for all the way up to 3 or 4. And then when we get you down to like the 6, that's when I want you just doing one-on-one weekly outpatient therapy and a shit ton of meetings, at least 3 a week. And like, I want you doing 90 and 90. Right. And so like I use that metaphor to try to show them like, I don't want you to even contemplate not doing some kind of treatment until you have rounded all the bases and gotten all the way back up at that 12-month mark. When you've got a year, sober or not, I'm not necessarily counting that as how many days sober. It's like you said, Nick, I'm counting days of work. Are you working programs? Are you trying? That's how you're going to get that mental change. And if I can get you to do that for a year, now I'm feeling more confident that you might be able to discontinue care and keep it up.
This all kind of reminds me of Madden football.
Of course. As all things in life should.
So I have not played. I got a PS5.
Ooh, fancy.
Not relevant to the story.
No, congrats.
Flags.
Congrats.
But so I got Madden football, and I have not played a football video game probably since college.
Yeah, that checks out. Yeah.
Tech Mobile.
Shit.
the realism or what?
Not only that, but like you have to know football
to play. Yeah.
So I'm playing this game and
can't
like
just put that guy in and go.
No, like I got to know like, I'm supposed to be able to recognize a cover 2 defense.
Yeah.
Like what the fuck is that? I don't know what any of this shit is. So I've had this game for like 7 or 8 months. I've just
trying to learn football.
I've just now started playing actual games. I've been in the tutorials. I just keep doing the tutorials over and over and over again. Because I'm like, I don't get it. And then every time I try to play a game, I was like, well, okay, I still don't know what the hell I'm doing.
Like, I think I'm good. Back. I'm not good.
Oh, man.
And that's kind of like, I think that's kind of like what residential treatment is like you're kind of learning this piece. It's a safe place where you can make mistakes and you're going to be okay.
Yeah.
But that's not where the work is done.
Yeah.
The work is really done, afterwards. And so treatment is going to be a long-term thing. So I don't know.
Advice to the writer.
Creating motivation.
Do you get back into it? I mean, I think yes.
Do you step up or do you start over?
In a perfect world, I want the family to come back to dad and say, we're so proud of you. That was a great first try. And you know what? You toppled over, man. Let's get back on the horse.
Let's do it again.
And if he's like, well, fuck you, I'm not going back to inpatient detox, all that stuff, whatever. Be like, okay, what are you willing to do then? Let's find the, because you can absolutely get into IOP right now. We could just do that. Like you 100% qualify immediately. And probably
he doesn't have a
job,
so.
You don't have shit to do. So like, let's go get you healthy, man. And if he's like, no, I got to work, be like, and again, this is the old saying that we say all the time, anything you put in front of your recovery, you will lose. So any job you go out and get right now is fucking worthless because if you are not a person who can stay sober, then you're going to lose that anyway.
That's a good perspective.
A billionaire could walk up to you right now and just be like, I want you to be my personal assistant. You're going to work 1 day a month and I'm going to pay you $1 million a year. You will find a way to fuck that up.
Yeah.
That is going to be lost.
Right.
Yes.
There is no way that you win this game, And so like you have to get healthy first. and we'll meet you at whatever level you're willing to do. Like, we'll give you credit for time served at rehab. Let's get back into the IOP thing. Let's get going. So, writer, I mean, any amount of pushing you can do, I think, is correct. And that question you asked of, I'm struggling with, is it our responsibility to push him because he seems like he can't be trusted right now to think for himself? He's unhealthy. And I'm on the side of, that's the right mentality up until it becomes codependency or you're getting too stuck in this other person's bullshit. And at that point, you do have the right and sometimes the responsibility to afford them the dignity of risk and to step back and let them destroy themselves. Yeah. And it is one of the hardest fucking things you'd ever have to do in your life. And that is ideally what Al-Anon is for. The Al-Anon that I was in was trying to help us resist the urge to dive out and save the person because we had done that 1,000 times. It was making us sick. Yeah. We were becoming mentally unhealthy and we needed support from each other to allow the other person the opportunity to fail. But if you're not quite there yet, then I do want to see the family push and say, hey, man, you're getting into another program. Let's go. Yeah. And even if he fucking drinks on the weekend but then shows back up to the IOP on Monday, it is progress, not perfection.
That's something.
It's something. Yeah. We got to keep moving the ball forward.
Also, I want to say to Dad and to all of the other addicts that are listening to the show here, don't make the I haven't hit rock bottom yet argument. That argument, you're not going to win with that argument.
No.
All right, just everybody out there.
Yeah.
When people come to you in an intervention setting or something like that, they're like, hey, you're scaring us. We're worried that you're not healthy. We're worried that you're going to die. All these things that they say to you.
to fail.
I could be so much worse. It's not a good argument.
And they use it all the time. Or they point to somebody else. They go, you think I'm bad.
Right.
Okay, you should meet Fred.
Yeah.
Fred at the bar, who I always see because I'm also at the bar.
Right.
Fred's a fucking degenerate.
He's a mess.
Well, it's like, I used to use this example all the time.
I think Fred should get healthier too.
Yeah.
No, it's not either or, man. I
you
really
can always find
everybody take him
somebody
to
further down the line.
Yes.
Like, I drink alcohol, but I don't drink whiskey. I drink whiskey, but I don't use illegal drugs.
Right.
Well, yes, I use cocaine, but I don't use meth.
It's just
I use meth,
recreationally.
but I don't listen to pod therapy.
I use meth, but I don't shoot it. There's always something that you can go. And that's the other thing, too, is like the rock bottom thing.
Drink dish detergent.
I drink dish detergent, but I don't.
But I don't inject it.
Not bleach. Not an idiot.
But like the whole rock bottom thing always used to annoy the shit out of me, too. Because like true
you
want to
be there? Do you want to be
true rock bottom is death.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So if we're waiting to that point, then then there's no
you can
point.
be worse.
Yeah.
Like,
and there's also a point of no return. And that's the thing that a lot of people don't realize. They're like, nah, I haven't hit rock bottom. It's like, bro, rock bottom is like a black hole. When you've gotten too close to it to the point that you realize you're in it, you're
not getting
fucked.
out. You're not
light
getting out.
cannot escape. Like you are going the rest of the way, and that is the fucking slip slide down to death. So this is your chance to get off the bus, and like you got to take it.
Yeah, I do like you staying involved. Continue to set boundaries. Just be patient. It's a tough situation to be a family member like that.
Oh yeah.
I don't give up on Al-Anon either. Quite yet. Because I give you the same advice I'd give anybody who's going to an AA meeting or an NA meeting, which is that they're all different.
Yeah.
So if you go to a few meetings at one location, you don't really like it. If your town, city has more than one, try a different night, try a different location. Because you're going to have different populations and meetings are going to be a lot different. So don't give up on that.
Al-Anon is unique too. When you go to Alcoholics Anonymous or Narcotics Anonymous, in the meetings, they will tend to teach you the philosophy. In Al-Anon, that is much less so the case. I didn't learn the philosophy of Al-Anon from the meetings. The meetings were very casual and very light. And oftentimes, like what the writer's saying, that was very common, that people might have stories about what we call, in Al-Anon speak, that the alcoholic in your life is called your qualifier. Like, I'm qualified to be in this room, and my qualifier's name is Fred, and so like that, that's a word that gets thrown around a lot. So a lot of times the meetings will be about your qualifier, but sometimes the meetings are about your life, and you're like, oh, my daughter's failing elementary or whatever, this math class, and I've been really stressed, because we know that the greater disease that we struggle with is beyond merely our qualifier. It's our tendency to try to control the uncontrollable, and that makes us sick in a variety of areas of our life. So like even your relationship with your fucking dog is on the table. So I would encourage you, writer, or anybody out there that is in the writer's position, keep going to Al-Anon, but I would encourage you to get the books. Like that really changed me. I got like the 12 principles, I got the big book, and when I started doing that work and reading, then I would go to the meetings, And then I found a sponsor. And then it was like, hey, I'm trying to work the steps. I'm trying to do this work for myself. And they were like, great, man, I'll guide you. But yeah, I had to do a lot of it, internally, which is really where it hits. And so I would strongly encourage you to get the literature.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Yeah. Because, if you don't get that in the meetings, then you got to get it someplace.
You got to get it someplace. And in that particular fellowship, you'll get it more from your own work whereas in AA, yes, people read, but the philosophy gets talked about a lot,
right.
And it's very much like passed along.
Yep.
But good luck, writer. Thank you for the update. We need stories like this because too often our stories, our reactions to these letters end with the encouragement to get into rehab or something. And it does not continue to paint the reality picture of why this is such a long-term battle. So response letters like this really give us an opportunity to weigh in on the down-the-road pictures that people also need some really good information on. So thank you for this, and good luck, and make sure you're also taking care of yourself.
Yep.
We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're talking about how to be alone. You're listening to Pod Therapy!
Today's episode is brought to you by Ben Don, Lulia, Richard Macy, Sonny Boy, Samantha Cone, Thunder Cougar, Falcon, Scoop, Slurpy Kai, Motherfucker, Sandra McWaffle, and Alina. Would you like to sponsor the show? Become a therapy producer at patreon.com/therapy. All right, we're going to continue taking the MCMHCE exam.
Oh, God damn it.
So far, Jacob is
Jacob's
kicking the shit out of both of you.
Damn it.
And Whitney
but it
should
also,
know these things, but isn't required to. I am.
I think I had to pass this fucking test. One.
No.
Yeah, Whitney's definitely in second place.
No, I know.
I was like, Jacob just gets more points.
Yeah, I'm celebrating the fact that I cannot believe I'm this fucking far behind.
It's going to end, though, because, he can't do it 2 weeks in a row.
Does he get to carry his points?
No.
Thank God.
No,
all right,
good.
We're going
to start over.
We'd be buried.
It'd
be over.
I don't even remember what the points
There's
were.
a mercy rule.
All the points.
All the points are Jacob's points.
You also are giving him threes. Like
he was getting
J's.
2. He's just getting 2.
No, he was not.
I was getting 3 last week.
He was shooting J's.
Yeah.
Okay, well, he's still getting 3. Yeah. Because he shouldn't win, all right? He shouldn't.
I also was 100%, Jim.
I know.
You got 100 on this exam.
You would have won if they were worth half a point.
He's a therapist now, basically.
All right. In structural family therapy, what is the concept of enmeshment?
What was that word now?
Enmeshment?
Enmeshment.
What
did I say? Did I say enmeshment?
Enmeshment.
Enmeshment. Sorry.
Okay.
Structural family therapy, what is the concept of enmeshment? A type of boundary where family members are overly involved in each other's lives, a type of hierarchy within the family structure, a type of communication pattern between family members, a technique used to align family subsystems.
I'll take A.
Yeah, A.
I'll also go with A.
Okay.
I really also like that I answer first.
I do. I was waiting. I'm going to let you. I was like, I'm going to let him.
Yeah.
It is A.
I'm first and I'm right.
I'm just going to coattail Jacob.
Not
even trying anymore.
I was like, Jim should just say whatever.
I'm just playing not to lose. Like, that is it.
Get at least
if we're wrong, let's be wrong together.
Okay, here we go. What is the primary purpose of a duty to warn in counseling practice?
Duty.
It's a poop joke.
A, to notify the client's family about their mental health status. B, to inform authorities if the client poses a danger to themselves or others. C, to share treatment details with insurance companies. Or D, to report the client's progress to their employer.
Oh. C and D seem horrible and unethical.
Hello, Mr. Absinthe. Let me tell you about Jacob. That's it. He's doing really good.
I've already done that.
His homicidal ideation is way down.
Also, the insurance company seems worse.
Yeah. They're awful.
B.
Okay. To inform authorities if a client poses a danger to themselves or others.
Yeah.
Yeah,
B.
It is B. Yeah.
No one will know if we're just writing Jacob's coattails now.
It's just doing so well.
All right. During the
and he's getting 3s on this. I'm still in dead last.
Oh, yeah, you still can't win. Even if you copy it, you still can't win.
3s.
That's funny. Okay.
Call me.
During the forming stage of group development, what is the primary focus of the group members? A, establishing relationships and determining the group structure. B, resolving conflicts and power struggles. C, achieving tasks and goals. Or D, concluding the group process.
A.
What was A?
Establishing relationships and determining the group structure. The forming stage.
I mean, I was going to say A. Yeah.
It is A.
Yeah, sure you were.
It is A.
God
I'm going to
damn
say it
it.
every time. You'll never know.
Hey, but at least you guys are getting them right.
Look at us all 100%.
Look at you go.
We all look at
Stop
Jacob with
playing
wide
right
eyes.
now.
What is it, Jacob? What is it?
That should be the bit, is like if he's this high up by the half, he has to just stop and we have a chance to catch up.
I mean, I'm happy to retire on top, Jim. I'll take my belt and go home.
So it's 9-3-3. Is that the
Yes,
score? God damn it. As it should be, honestly. And he's answering first. He's not copying anybody. Like, he's just reading the question and going, yeah, that makes it.
Legit.
And again, like last week, Nick did not send me the answers beforehand.
You're still not in cahoots.
Oh, fucking A.
We continue to not cahoot.
No cohesion going on.
Give a cahoot, don't pollute.
How to be alone from Matt. Hey, y'all, how do I be alone without feeling alone? My wife has suggested I go and dine out on my own while she's gone, but I don't want to feel like I'm alone while being alone. Me and my wife just moved across the country from Iowa to South Carolina for her job 2 months ago. She's a wedding photographer, and we're trying to meet new people and make new friends. Although everyone I've met since our move has been through her clientele, who are the same age as us and moved to the area in the last few years, they still feel like they are friends of friends. I've said yes to every opportunity we've had to hang out with people, but it's only been a couple of times and not long enough to make a long-lasting connection.
You got to go to those key parties.
That's where you make a long-lasting connection.
Yeah.
On to the next question.
Sold.
Moving on.
This sets up my dilemma as my wife is heading back to Iowa to finish shooting weddings there that she had previously booked for the next 2 months. This means I'll be on my own with our 2 dogs in South Carolina in a city where I'm still getting to know the people and the places around me. I do go to a gym here where I've met a few people. Again, not long enough to make a connection, just long enough to put a name to a face and 2 random things I know about them. My wife suggests to go out and meet new people, but I'm very much a homebody and enjoy my alone time. However, I do want to make friends on my own. I also don't know the area around us too well, hence why my wife is suggesting I go out and eat on my own somewhere to try the food. Do you have any suggestions for how to not feel alone while at a restaurant by yourself, and how to make small talk with a stranger into a friendship? I know with friendships, time and consistency does help, which is why my plan is to talk to people at my gym still and always say yes to any invitations. Any insights would be great. Thanks, Matt.
You guys eat alone, go to movies alone, do these things?
Very rarely.
Yeah, I mean, I do when I'm on the road. Definitely go out to
Yeah.
eat by myself. Going to movies was always really weird to me. And when I got divorced, like that was the thing that I was really uptight about.
Oh, yeah.
Was going through that, it was kind of scary because I was like, oh my God, now who do I go to a movie with? Like I can't go by myself. And then I did it a few times. It's like, oh, this is wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
You don't have to share your
mind.
snacks.
Yeah.
Do you,
and then
do you still
now,
do
like,
that?
it's
You'll go alone?
I
don't,
rarely have the opportunity to
you don't
go.
call me.
No.
I was just going to say, Jim's about to be offended. I know where this is going.
I actually thought about
know what
because
you're doing.
because I had Friday and Monday off
Okay.
this weekend because I was actually supposed to be in Vancouver. But I was thinking about going again to see Deadpool. Again,
I want
the
to
next
see it.
Deadpool movie.
Yeah, I accept your
I want to see
invitation.
Beetlejuice.
So we'll go do that.
I'm actually seeing that this afternoon.
Wow.
Yeah.
By
I
yourself?
want to watch it.
No, Laura's going with that one.
Ah, shit. Not as much fun.
So with this question, it's not just 2 parts. Not necessarily trying to not be alone, but being okay with being alone.
Yeah.
But then also,
making friends.
How
making
to make
friends.
friends.
I've been working on making friends lately. And
oh, good
Join
for
a
you.
social
thank
club.
you. I thank you. Yeah, no setups, please. I want to find my own. So it's really been this joke in our family for the last year and a half, 2
Your mustache.
years. That too. That doesn't help. But like,
This is why he can't make friends.
Yeah, maybe I have like a complex.
We just torture him for
maybe
2
the
hours.
only people I
every
hang
time
out
he's in
with
here.
just shit on me for 2 hours. That's why don't you have any friends? I don't know. All the people I know don't like
Because of
me.
this stupid mustache.
And Jacob's a better therapist. I lost my doctorate. You need new friends, Jim. They're really abusive.
Toxic.
But I've been trying. It's like the joke at our house for a long time has been like, I'll go to, like, I've been trying to use sports to try to find people. And so for a long time, like, I would take my kids to like their after school lessons and stuff. And there would be like a chill sports bar, like a PT's kind of thing nearby. And I would have the same exact evening every week where I'd take the kid or whatever. And so I started, going to the same place, and I'd see, I think it was like a Thursday night football thing or whatever. And so like I would meet some of the other guys at the bar, but for whatever reason, the only guy I can make friends with is a type of guy. And no matter where I go,
he has a type.
I find this type. And we get along really good.
I wanna hear
And like,
this.
I'm all for it. Like, I'm just happy somebody's talking to me. But I have a type of dude friend that I attract. And I went to...
Are they,
I'm
in
about to
this,
tell you what
are they
it
in
is.
this room right now? Is this part of the type?
No, apparently these are not my type. So this weekend, I was telling you guys off air, I went to the UNLV alumni tailgate, and the only reason I have joined the Alumni Association was to make friends. And I was like, I need to find other people that are interested in something, and like I work at the school, and I really am interested in the sports. So like, let me go find the other people that are interested in that. And like, we'll have a beer and talk about the football game and stuff. So I went to this whole thing. And I was like, it was a really nice tailgate. It was a really beautiful tent and stuff. It was great food and great drinks. And like, I was just doing that awkward thing where you're just kind of like walking the room, and it's pretty big. And other people are sitting and talking, and like, but I don't know any of them. And so I'm like doing that awkward walk of shame, like looking for an in.
Kind of fishing.
Yeah. And
Hey.
so like, I come up to this one guy who's like a younger guy, like probably in his later 20s. And he's sitting alone, and I kind of did a couple passes by his table and saw he was alone. And so then I kind of like, it was like a long standing picnic table. So like definitely.
Tap his foot.
Yeah. I gave him one of those. Just wet willy, hey buddy, let's be friends. So like I go kind of stand at his table. I'm sitting there with my drink for a minute, and I get a conversation going with him.
I just imagine you should have just had a little note.
Yeah.
That you could
Will you
slide.
be my friend?
No, just DTF
Yes or no?
question mark.
Yeah.
Down to friend.
Down to friend.
And that's the Patreon title. Good job. Excellent.
Fast forward a couple hours, and you're like, "Oh, I think you misunderstood what I was saying." Now that we're
As I'm
alone.
pulling the ball gag out of my mouth, crying. I'm like, I just don't. I think this friendship is too hard. It's just so firm.
Pushing my boundaries.
Not a friend. So like I try to talk to this guy, and he puts down the phone and is chatting with me for a minute. And he was telling me about college sports, and we're getting along okay. But like the conversation starts to fizzle out, and I kind of like feel like, okay, I don't know how to fill the silence at this point, and it's not happening. And so I'm like, okay. And so I was like, oh, I'm gonna go get another beer, man. Do you want anything? He's like, nope. And I'm like, great. And so I just kind of use that as my excuse to like exit. So I'm just really striking out, man. But I'm trying, and like I've been trying to have conversations. And so I get back in the beer line or whatever, and I'm just kind of like trying to think like, fuck it, okay, I don't think that guy wants me to keep talking to him, so I won't go back. Like I'll give him space. And then all of a sudden a dude comes over and taps me on the shoulder and initiates a conversation with me. And I turn around, and it's my type. Immediately, I'm like, yep, this is going to work.
You're the
Because
one.
it's always you. It's always, you always fucking find me.
All right, describe this person.
So then he gets to talking to me. I'm
He
about
won't.
to. He gets
He
to talking to
won't.
me. Super nice guy. He's really giving me space to like chat. He's making it clear, like, hey, being very invitational. How are you, buddy? Tell me your story. Like, and we're chatty. And so we're chatting, and everything's great. And he's like, oh, I'm gonna actually run back to my table really quick and get my drink. I actually came over to say hi to you, but I left my drink at my table with my friends. Let me go grab my drink. I'll be right back. And I was like, oh, well, no, I don't want to take you from your friends. And he's like, oh, well, okay, just come with me then. Would you like come sit with us? I was like, excellent. Like, yes, that's great. And so like I come sit with him, and super nice guys. And he introduces me to his two buddies, and they're all sitting at a circle table. There's a chair wide open. Like, sit down, man. Let's talk. And I'm like, this is great. And so I'm sitting down with them. The other two guys,
I'm picturing MLM.
I know.
the other two guys also exactly my fucking type.
Okay.
And I'm like, here we go. We're doing this now.
Okay.
So I'm talking to these dudes.
White tie.
We're getting along.
White shirt, black tie, bicycle helmet.
A name tag.
Yeah.
So we're hitting it
I should
off.
have sensed it.
We are hitting it off. Like I'm getting along with them, they're getting along with me, and we're the tailgate wraps up 30 minutes before kickoff, and so they start letting us know like, hey y'all, we're gonna wrap it up. The band's coming, so we're gonna have the band come stop by the tent and do this hootenanny thing. And we're gonna leave out of here, and so I work up the courage, and I talk to the guy who initiated the contact with me, and I say, hey man, like, do you go to a lot of these? He's like, yeah, and I was like, well, this is my first one. I'm gonna start going to these. Could we stay in touch? Like, I'd love to, come hang out with you guys when you're doing events. And he's like, yeah, bet you want my cell phone number? I was like, yes. Is that weird? Like, he's like, no, not at all, man. Thanks for asking. Like, that was, he grabbed, types it in. Great. He says, shoot me a text, man. I'm like, great, I do. So, hey, this is Jim, from UNLV. He's like, great. And so, like, I'm like, oh, fuck, I made a friend. Like, this is so good. I was so fucking excited. And I'm like, okay, just be cool, man. Just walk away like you have something to do. Like, just don't fuck this up. Like, you can do it, Jim. Like, just keep fucking walking. So, like, I get out of there.
What would a person say right now?
I know, what would a normal person say? Don't be fucking weird. You guys want to have a sleepover? My wife said she'll make popcorn. Yeah, so, like, I just was like, okay, be cool. So then I ended up sitting alone. So I got a seat for the game, and I didn't have anybody to go with. So I went alone. I was only going to stay for the first half because I had to get to a family event. But while I'm at the game, the first quarter gets rolling. I get a text from the dude. And he goes, hey, man, we're all sitting together in this other section, and our row is pretty empty. There's empty seats. So if you just want to come back over and join us, I'm sure nobody's going to take these seats, man. And I'm like, oh, fuck yeah. And so, like, I go march over to the other side of the stadium. I find this dude, and, like, him and his boys are like, hey, man, what's up? Come sit next to us. This is great. And so I sit next to him, had a great time, great first half. He ended up buying me a drink. Like, just like, oh, what do you guys want? And I'm like, oh, nothing, man. I have to drive in a little bit. Like, I have to get out of here in the half. And he's like, yeah, I'm getting you a drink anyway, dude. And so he walks away, comes back with, like, a cocktail. Like, this is fucking cool. So I got roofied. And so, okay.
That was just a bonus.
So it's really working out, guys. Like, it's really working out.
This is exactly how I drew it up in my mind.
This is exactly how I wanted it to work. And it was really funny. And I've been fucking going through it, like, second guessing myself, because I did a lot of awkward shit. And, like, one of them, I took a picture with them.
Aww.
I asked if I could take a picture with them.
Oh my God,
I was like,
you're
let's
so
take
adorable.
a selfie. And they're like, okay. I'm like, why? Do you want to, like, prove to your wife that you're really at the game?
Are you
and I'm
going to
like,
post this on your
no,
social
I
media?
just was
You wanna
excited
prove
to
your
show
kids that
her
you have
that I made
friends?
friends.
Yes.
And so I had to be honest. I had to say no, like, I want to show my wife that I made friends. And they're like, okay. And so, like, they let me do it. And I totally said it to my wife, and she starts cracking up. She's like, why do you always find this man? Why is this the guy? It is absolute retirees. Like, minimum 68 years old. Like, I mean, just... And that is my group. And if I go to a bar by myself, that is my guy. Like, my guy, it was my dude at the bar with my kids after school activities was this old black man. And I would, like, sit one seat away from him. And then over time, we would just start talking to each other in between plays. And, like, we became friends. Like, so that is my type. It's always, like, really, like, retired dude. They're all retired. Like, just, yeah. They're just like, yeah, no, we just do this because we have nothing else to do. And I was like,
they have lots of time to make friends.
They make friends. Yeah. So that is my type, if you were wondering. Yep.
Okay.
So, yep.
Okay, but that's not a bad thing.
Thank you.
Ride that out. Ride that out.
Yeah.
Most of the guys that I golf with are older guys.
Okay. So you hang off the type too.
Yeah.
And plus, if you get close enough, you get in that will.
You get in that will. Yeah. Inheritance
Jacob
money.
went to
That's
a
the
different
long
level.
game.
Yeah, that's it.
Playing the long
Well,
game.
they're super cool, and so I was really excited. So now I'm gonna, like, connect with them on the next tailgate. Like,
That's
what's
why
up,
they were
guys?
asking about the selfie. They're like, what?
What the fuck are you doing? Yeah, I think also they're like, what's
Sorry,
that? What
I'm
are
a
you holding?
millennial.
Yeah, what's this thing you're holding?
Well, and he mentioned cell phone. You want my cell phone number? I was like, that's a very old way to say that.
What do you say? The digits?
Phone. Just
you want my digits?
You want my phone number? You want my number? Like,
Let me get them
my
digits.
You want
cell
my
phone
cellular phone
That's
number?
like,
Yeah, my
I'm on the
mobile
World
phone.
Wide Web. Is
Yeah,
what
the
that
World Wide
sounds
Web.
like.
Anyway, so Ryder, that's my advice.
Okay.
Good. Make friends with old people.
Dude, they're ready.
What was
They
the
want to hang
question?
out.
I need to go back. and
Honestly,
reread.
it's a move. They want to fucking make friends, dude. Go
You're
hang out
not-
with them.
You're not completely wrong.
I'm not wrong.
No. I mean, the other thing, though, too, is like finding, I've said this before, too, but like finding an activity. Like that's
Yeah.
kind of, going to alumni events is kind of an activity.
Right.
Oh, definitely.
Like
Right.
it's not just like you met somebody at a bar and started talking to them.
Right.
Like you're active doing something.
Yeah.
You know
You're
you've
seeing
got
them
something in
again.
common.
Yeah, you're going to see him again.
Like for me, joining this golf league, this is my second year in this league, and I've met so many
Yeah.
people that now like we've exchanged phone numbers because I'll get like everybody's golfing every weekend. and everybody's like, hey, we need a fourth.
Yeah.
You interested? Yeah, sure.
Yeah, as you
So
make
then I'll go.
connections, there's more people you kind of branch out and network into. Because like, oh, that one guy, Nick, we played with one time. Like maybe he wants
that
to join.
asshole who won.
Yeah, and I mean, like, and there's
Nick
always
didn't win.
when like we played up in Utah, St. George, a couple weeks ago, and like so. I didn't have a place to stay.
You did have a sleepover.
Yeah. So I'm like, I had a hotel room. I ended up canceling it because somebody else had a house. And they're like, well, hey, we got an extra room. You'll come here. So I was like, yeah, all right, cool. So I just did that. But yeah, I think that's one thing. How to just handle just being alone. I think the more you just kind of do it and you just kind of become comfortable with it and you kind of keep yourself occupied, then it just doesn't, like, it only has meaning if you give it meaning.
Right. Yeah.
If you are sitting there eating at a restaurant alone and you're sitting there thinking
crying into your soup.
Yeah. Thinking that everybody else is
salt.
looking at you and thinking you're weird, then it's going to feel that way.
Yeah.
But in reality, no one even notices.
Let me give you some training wheels for going and eating at a restaurant alone. Two steps. The first is go to a restaurant with like a bar type seat.
Say that.
Like you got a bar type seating.
Okay.
It doesn't have to be a bar. For instance, like Chipotle.
Yeah, Applebee's.
It diffuses that.
Oh, yeah.
That, like,
they have
table
like
setting,
a bar. Or the Chipotle that's by my house. They have like a bar of seats in the front.
Okay.
And they just have stools in front of them and whatever.
For
so you can go sit
eaters.
there.
Yeah.
And so sit at the bar.
High top seating.
And earbuds.
Oh.
And just sit there. And this is not a make friends piece of advice. This is like hanging out by yourself.
Be alone.
Advice.
Yeah.
And but like sit there and listen to a podcast or something.
Yeah.
And it's so nice
idea.
and relaxing. Like
That's a really
go
good
sit
idea.
at the sushi bar or something
That is nice.
and listen
Sushi
to a
bar is
podcast.
a good idea too.
Yeah.
Yeah, the sushi bar move, that was so when I made my old black friend, then
Oh my gosh, stop saying that.
that is what he prefers. That's,
No, he told you that.
that's how he introduced himself.
That's a lie.
But like, a lot of times he wouldn't be there at the bar, so I would go to the sushi place.
Stop saying that.
And I would just sit there with my pods in though, and that was great.
Yeah.
Just sushi for one. It was a good time. Like that was alone time, but I don't know. I agree with you. I feel like you've got to occupy your mind though. If you're just sitting in an empty room with nothing, dude, that's tough.
Yeah, unless I kind of like what your wife said. Try some new restaurants, and then just be really present with that. Like, what kind of food are you? Is it kind of a foodie restaurant? You're not going to Applebee's or whatever. Like, trying new food, different places, especially kind of different cultures. Like South Carolina's got to have unique foods. So just being present with what you're doing, I think, helps because so much of our mind nowadays is distracted.
Yeah.
And we're like searching for that little dopamine hit, that connection. And so I think just sitting with I ordered a drink I really love. I'm looking at the menu. I ordered my food. Kind of people watch a little if you like just be very present and sit in that. And I think that would be helpful. But sitting at a bar as far as meeting other people, I think that does diffuse awkwardness quite a bit. You can chat with the bartender a little bit.
Yeah.
Other people sit, even if it's a couple sitting next to you and be like, oh yeah, my wife's like traveling and I just wanted to try this place out. Like you can
You guys
still
looking
meet.
for a third?
That's a different topic.
That's 3 drinks minimum. Then you start. Right.
Lastly, you mentioned that you have dogs. I mean, I'm pretty sure going to dog parks and stuff is like a whole thing. I don't have dogs, so I don't know that, but I think that's a whole.
You don't want to make friends with dog park people.
Oh.
No, no.
They're all
they're
swingers.
garbage people.
All
Oh,
swingers.
okay.
They're
Then
called
I take it back.
sanitation workers.
Sanitation engineer.
I would say, though, that going to the gym is probably not a great way to meet people.
Oh, really?
If it doesn't work out, you still see them at the gym all the time.
Yeah, well,
that's how I feel.
Yeah, well, not only that, but I see the same people all the time, but everybody in the gym is wearing earbuds.
Right.
I know.
Yeah, and so unless there's a public space where people kind of hang out afterwards or before working out and you kind of chit chat, it's really hard to strike up a conversation with somebody because then they're doing something and then you want to say something and they got to take out their earbuds and what
and I feel like you're busy. If you're working out, I don't want to interrupt your set or try to make you talk to me when you're breathing intentionally and you're here to work. You know, and I feel weird about trying to talk.
I think the exception to this is that if any place you're are at consistently, where you're seeing the
over
same
time.
people over time.
That's a long game.
Yeah,
the gym.
then you start having those conversations
It starts
on
with
your
just-
way out.
Well, yeah,
on
or
your
eye
way in.
contact. Like
Yeah.
every day I come in at 10 a.m. and this guy's on the treadmill, and like over time you're just like a little nod, like, oh hey, like
you did
I
that really
recognize
right.
you.
You did the dude nod.
I
Very,
know,
very.
so-
She knew to do the chin up.
I know things.
Until you really know him, then it's the. Yep.
Yeah, then
and then when
maybe
you
a
really
little-
know him, you give him the howdy partner.
Oh,
Yeah.
A little bit of the hat. Trust me, I know
I'm
a thing
from
or two
Texas.
about making
If you,
friends.
from
if you can point up one eyebrow,
Yeah.
as you do it.
Give him one of those.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then he gets it. And then you spit in your platoon.
I know, right?
Touch
I feel like
tips.
there's one other gingerly touch our tips.
As you do in the gym.
That's right.
Yeah.
Also, y'all just moved there 2 months ago. That's like a pretty short window.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, it takes time.
Give it some time.
Meetup.com. I'm always a big fan of like people hunting down social groups on there. They seem to be very open door.
There's
trying
less
to get people in.
retirees there, though, Jim.
Yeah. Bob, in South Carolina, retiree state? Isn't that one of those like cheap ones that people like?
Myrtle Beach area.
Yeah, dude, that's the party. Go crash
sure.
those people.
For sure.
Get to
Oh my
that
gosh.
early bird special. That's what you want to do.
You want to be at the Sizzler at 4:30 p.m.
Yes, that's social hour, dude.
Did you do like a hiking group years ago? Yeah. So I had some friends who moved to a new state as a couple, and they're like in their late 30s, and they joined a hiking group there, and they said that almost everyone was like retirees in that
Yeah.
group. I was like, really?
That's my
There
people.
was a mix.
Well, it was
Okay.
a mall hiking group.
There was
Yeah,
a
that
just
does
hiked
matter.
around the mall.
That does
Yeah.
matter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
there was a mix. It really depended on the difficulty
Time
of
of
the
day.
hike.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So
that
like
makes
if you
sense.
do like a what do they call it was rated like a 1
Yeah,
or 2.
no incline.
Yeah, as opposed to like a 4 or
That's
5.
1
fair.
mile loop, which is exactly my speed. Like that's what
Yeah,
I
yeah,
want to do anyway.
Well,
Well,
that's
to
where
be
your people
fair,
are.
That's my people.
the state they moved to, I don't think there was a lot of difficult hikes.
Spiritually, I'm
like
67
the more
years,
yeah.
flat, like Iowa,
Yeah.
like hikes. I don't know.
Now, it's funny you mentioned this because I was thinking about you,
Thanks. In the shower.
Aw.
and when I got out,
Oh, great. Yeah.
because I had Friday,
Refractory
I had
period.
Friday and Monday off. Yeah,
No, afterward he hates me. And then he's like, "All right, so get the fuck out." I'm like,
yeah.
You can't keep doing this. Like,
I have feelings too.
yeah, I'm a fucking person. Leave the ball gag. Get out.
We're back to this, Jim. Your friends have
Throws
the
money.
same ending every
Because I had Friday,
a happy one.
Always the happy.
Yeah.
Friday and Monday off. I'm taking a little time away from golf.
Okay.
So I kind of have these
Good job.
weekends. Thank
Yeah,
you.
self-care.
And I was like, we need to work on this song, this pod therapy song.
Yes.
Again.
We got to do this intro music. And here's the thing, like, I don't want to just do something and then send it over to you because you're not going to like it.
Yeah.
Don't send it to Jim. Send it to me.
Yeah, send it to him.
Just
and he'll
end the
pick-
show.
Yeah.
No, the only way he's going to agree to this is if he has a part in it.
But
The
no,
difference is
'cause
Jacob's
Jacob will
implying
just do
who
it.
gives a fuck.
I'm suggesting that Jim doesn't have to agree
Nick,
to
Nick
it.
has
That's
a
also
deep
true.
Which one of
constitutional
you pays
democracy
Jacob? That's
vibe.
who gets to
Right,
send
that's
him.
No, the consent of the governed.
But we need to get together and just collaborate.
Okay.
Okay? Just the invitation's out there, so don't say that you don't
If
have
you
friends.
don't
I've
agree-
invited you.
All right.
Bring your guitar over and let's
To the
work this out.
Sizzler. Let's do it. To the Sizzler. This is different though, because I do want to hang out. I don't want to rewrite the song. So this is where it's like, oh, I thought you were going to say, like, hey, we should go to Windy City and get a hot dog. Like, oh, fuck yeah, that sounds cool. And it's like, oh, we should do this whole thing. Like, no, I don't fucking do that.
Let's do that, and
Yeah.
we'll bring our guitars.
We'll serenade Windy
and
City.
whatever happens,
As we
happens.
try to write a new thing. Anyway, writer, good luck on this. You know, it is a real thing. It's so relatable. I would really encourage like meetup groups, meetup.com, Facebook groups. That's a great way to start. If you can find something that has kind of a regular thing it's surrounding it, like Panthers, North Carolina Panthers are really big out there, which is just the Carolina Panthers. They belong to both states. But like if there's like a social group about that you could start like showing up and being a part of it and just using Sunday football as a veneer to like hang out with people. Whatever it is, that would probably help and go a long way. But
I had one other thing I just thought of too. This has come up with quite a few of my clients when they're talking about making friends because it is a consistent challenge
yeah,
with a lot of people, even really young people. But they will say something like, oh, I reached out to this person, or maybe I connected with them at a football game, but they don't do that next step because they're so in their head about
Right.
what the other person will think, kind of what you described in your scenario.
right.
And so I kind of try and push and encourage them, like, it's okay for you to be the one to like, hey, what's up? Like that outreach text. I think everyone's waiting for the other person because they're so worried about like annoying the other person, or, they don't want to hear from me. I'm like, send a couple, like send one or two. If they don't respond to you after two, okay, I got the message loud and clear. But like, try and sit with being okay being the outreacher, and as much as you feel comfortable doing that. So I think just saying that out loud is important, because everyone's thinking, I don't want to bother the other person, and they're like, but I don't have friends.
Everybody's nervous.
Yeah. Anyway, that was
join AARP. That changed my life. Like I'm just finding everybody now. It's pretty fucking cool.
Some you can
Jim
bond
settled
with
in
them
early.
over.
Honestly, settled in early.
Did you guys get that flyer from AARP?
Did you guys get the tote bag?
Oh, it's
fucking cool tote bag this month.
You know what?
Wasn't it?
Were you wearing your tote bag? Is that what
that's
attracted
how
them?
I like to flag it.
Yep.
Just like to signal, my AARP leather jacket.
Also, if you make friends with old people, even if you make an ass of yourself, they're gonna die. And then it's just like reset.
Yeah.
You'll find another one.
Yeah.
We are going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about how to stop Jacob from stealing my wife. You're listening to Pod Therapy.
Today's episode is brought to you by Ben, Dawn, Malia, Richard Macy, Sonny Boy, Samantha Cone, Thunder Cougar, Falcons, Scoop, Slimpikaye, Motherfucker, Sandra McWaffle, and Alina. And if you would like to join these lovely people and become a sponsor of the show, go to patreon.com/therapy and sign up to become a producer. All right. Here we go.
Oh, yeah.
In multicultural counseling, what does cultural encapsulation refer to? Cultural encapsulation. A, the counselor's understanding and integration of multiple cultural perspectives. B, the counselor's tendency to define reality according to their own cultural assumptions. C, the client's ability to adapt to different cultural contexts. Or D, the client's rejection of their own cultural identity. Cultural encapsulation.
Wow. I have a feeling we're going to end up on different ones.
Yeah, I don't like this one as much.
I was going to ask you to reread it.
I'm not so sure
words.
about this one.
Oh, it's not fun anymore?
Damn it.
No. I'm still having a great time. I'm going to make it very clear. Even if I miss this one, I'm having a really good time with this.
Cultural encapsulation. Is it A, the counselor's understanding and integration of multiple cultural perspectives? The counselor's tendency to define reality according to their own cultural assumptions? C, the client's ability to adapt to different cultural contexts? Or D, the client's rejection of their own cultural identity?
Wow, you reread it and I chose a different one.
I know.
Oh, shit.
All right, so my math on this is I can't decide if I want it to be about the counselor or the client.
Yeah.
That's a fair
fair.
go-to.
Because it's a therapy term.
Mm-hmm.
Most of them are about the clients. Most term, I feel like most of these types of things would be about the patient. But then again, I like one of the counselor answers as well. I don't really like the patient answers.
What's it gonna be?
I'll go A.
Ooh.
Okay. Hey, Whitney.
I'm not happy about it though.
I know.
I'm not as sure as I have. Honestly, most of the other questions and answers I've been really sure of.
Yeah.
I'm really not sure about this one.
Damn. The first time you read it, I was A, and the second time through, I wanted B. So I'll go B.
And I kind of want D, honestly, as well.
You want?
Yeah.
Well, you.
I love
obviously
the D.
you
Who
love the
doesn't
D.
love the D?
I'm gonna go B. Ooh.
I'm with you. I'm gonna go B.
Oh, the therapists are coming back.
Wow.
We got one.
What was B?
Finally.
It is B.
It was
What
the
was that
client. The client.
The counselor's tendency to define reality according to their own cultural assumptions.
Oh, yeah, I did like that one. That was good. Yeah.
That's tough. They were all very viable.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would have said A if I didn't have it repeated.
Got it.
Momentum shift.
Got him.
Okay.
Is that what we're calling it?
Yeah.
Nine to
We got one extra client.
Don't you feel it?
Feel that change in the air.
Okay.
I can feel it.
What is the primary characteristic of avoidant personality disorder that differentiates it from social anxiety disorder? What differentiates avoidant personality disorder from social anxiety disorder? A, persistent fear of social interactions. B, avoidance of occupational activities that involve significant interpersonal contact. C, a pervasive pattern of social inhibition, feelings of inadequacy, and hypersensitivity to negative evaluation. Or D, specific phobia towards public speaking.
I don't like any of those. Is there none of the above?
No.
It's avoidant personality disorder.
Yeah, so what makes a primary characteristic that makes avoidant personality disorder different from social anxiety disorder?
Good fucking luck.
What were the options again?
Persistent fear of social interactions, avoidance of occupational activities that involve significant interpersonal contact, a pervasive pattern of social inhibition, feelings of inadequacy, and hypersensitivity to negative evaluation, or D, specific phobia towards public speaking.
A.
Okay.
C?
Between C and D.
I know. I was a little bit between C.
That's funny because D would be the one I would eliminate right away.
Right, because
yeah.
the specific phobia.
Yeah,
but then I'm like trying to figure out anything that stands out as not going to be part of the social side.
Right.
And the specific phobia is close enough that I think, well, maybe, but that language is problematic. So
I was like B and C.
I'm probably going to stick with this. Yeah, I'll probably go C. Yeah.
It is C.
Oh! Fuck yeah!
Yeah.
5-9.
We're Dolly Parton of this shit.
We're on our way.
We're creeping.
Yay, we're doing what we should have been doing this whole time.
We get paid to do this.
Reverting to the mean.
All right, last one. In the context of object relations theory, what is the concept of splitting? Object relations theory, what is the concept of splitting? Integrating positive and negative aspects of the self. B, viewing people or situations as all good or all bad. C, developing a cohesive sense of self. Or D, projecting one's own feelings onto others.
B.
Ugh, my brain hurts.
I think I'm B on this one, too.
What was B?
Viewing people or situations as all good or all bad.
For object permanence?
No,
no.
splitting.
Splitting.
Or splitting.
In object
In
relations
object
theory.
relations theory.
Splitting.
Neo-Freudianism.
I'll just say B because I don't want to think about it.
Are we all saying
I think we're all on
Say
B.
You're all correct.
Yeah!
I'm back, baby.
Riding coattails, riding
12 to
coattails
6.
here.
Shit. All right, good game.
Well, it was
everybody.
a theory. So what I like on that one is it's a theory in there. So like we're already
Halfway.
we're in the classroom now. We're talking theories now, and so splitting, like making everything black or white.
Sure.
In like
That's
theoretical land, like
Sure.
that just
Yep.
that seems like it
Sounds
worked for me.
correct.
See, I would have gotten
Keywords.
that one wrong.
I
would've
think
gotten it
I would
wrong
have too if I'd have gotten myself. I was like,
because
oh.
to me that seems too much like a cognitive distortion
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
would fit with like CBT.
Yeah.
Right.
So I was like, that seems like they couldn't overlap that
Yeah.
much. But
They
there you
do.
go.
Oh yeah, it does.
It
How
does.
to
Boy,
stop,
does it.
How to stop Jacob from stealing my wife.
Damn.
From Therapy Producer Kevin C. Hey, Whitney, Nick, Jim, and especially Dr. Jacob.
Good
I've
evening.
got a good evening. I've got a unique problem for y'all to solve. Since you asked for more questions in the backlog of this week's episode, I figured it was time that I wrote in. For background, my fiance and I attended Scoop Fest this past year. It was so fun
Awesome.
meeting
Oh, great.
y'all. A few weeks ago.
Early bird tickets available for sale right now.
Oh, shit.
Really?
Yeah, for next year. Yeah,
Oh my gosh.
Damn.
until early bird prices available till Halloween.
Oh, wow. That's a steal. Get on it. A few weeks ago, we were discussing our upcoming wedding and our life after the wedding when I said that I was probably going to start going gray before her. Below is an approximate retelling of the dialogue we had.
Oh boy.
Okay.
Me. Are you going to be okay when my hair starts to gray before yours? Her. As long as you grow it out really long. Me. What? Why? Her. Jacob awakened something in me at Scoop Fest. Me. Well, if that makes you happy. The only problem
Get a wig,
is
get a wig.
I think I've still got a few years before I could possibly have the same flowing locks that Jacob has. Do you have any suggestions to save my relationship in
Get
the
away.
interim? Any experience in waiting until your partner's ideal physical specimen? Wishing you all the best, Kevin Chamberlain, therapy producer.
Rogaine.
Oh
You gotta
my
go
God.
just smear it on.
Start-
the Rogaine.
Start with Rogaine.
Guzzle
And
Rogaine.
stay the hell away from Scoop Fest. That was your last Scoop Fest. You
Yep.
do not go back.
Yeah, I'll sneak some dye into Jacob's shampoo bottle.
Yeah. We'll try to darken Jacob for you, Kevin.
Yeah.
Oh, how long did it take to grow it out? Because I've seen
I have
photos.
no idea.
There's photos of you in your house, short hair.
Yeah,
But
my
I-
hair grows
I
really
wanna-
fast.
I was
It
gonna
does.
say I want to see a picture of you. With
How
short
often
hair.
will you have to trim it?
I'd go in. These days, I probably go in like once every couple of months.
Okay.
It just like
Take an
it
inch?
takes 5 minutes.
I was gonna say,
Okay.
can't SJ just do that at home?
She could if I let her.
He doesn't let her scissors around him.
I'm not touching this mane.
Okay.
I let that shit cut my hair one time.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Okay. That
Okay.
checks
And
out.
that was the
fine.
end of that.
That was it.
No mas.
Oh my gosh.
Well, no,
What?
the long gray. That's the move.
This reminds me of a story. So one of my golfing buddies, he grew up a fundamentalist Mormon.
Oh,
Okay.
Okay, it's in the same little town where what's his name?
Oh,
The leader.
Warren Jeffs.
Warren Jeffs. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Oh,
His dad has like 50 wives.
Oh wow.
Okay, so he's
related
one of
to Warren.
100 some children.
yeah.
Jesus. Okay.
His dad is also like a multi-millionaire.
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Like
I mean,
he's-
you have to be.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
With all that
You gotta-
free
you
labor.
gotta
And does he
support-
actually have that much money? It all
Yeah.
goes to the children.
So we went to
Got to support that lifestyle.
went to my friend's wedding, and the reception was at his dad's house,
Oh,
one
boy.
of his
One
houses,
of the houses.
which he kind of refers to as his party house.
Oh, how many children were in this house? Oh, it's
It
the party
was
house.
fucking packed. I mean, it was packed full of people. But it's like it's actually just down the street from Mike Tyson. Like
Oh,
he's like neighbors,
wow.
and so like
Okay.
overlooks the entire valley. Like just this beautiful house. So anyway, his dad is definitely a womanizer. And so,
Yeah,
Well,
no shit.
and like,
50,
and obviously,
50 wives.
and like the younger the better.
yeah.
So Laura, myself, and
Laura
and
hated
my other friend, we're sitting in the backyard
Laura's still there.
in the pool, by the pool,
She's
and
too
we're
old.
just
She's a joiner.
we're just sitting there talking, whatever. And then his dad comes over, and so my buddy Jack introduces himself, like, hey, we play golf with your son, blah blah blah. This is Nick and Laura, blah blah blah. And so he starts talking, and he kind of starts talking to Laura, and like
Oh boy.
the way he's positioning himself, like it was all of us kind of like in a circle.
Yeah.
And then he slowly just kind of comes like towards the center of the
Yeah.
circle. And after about 2 minutes, I'm looking over his shoulder to look at Laura. Like he's literally
He's cut you
wedged
off.
himself
Yeah, he
between
did.
the two of us.
I know these guys.
Oh,
Nick's
yeah.
like, sir?
I was
Oh,
like, okay, am I the only one seeing this? Like,
I mean, when that happens, I'm like, take your shot. I mean,
Yeah,
honestly,
yeah.
you're on deck. Go for it, man. Like, this is where we find out.
I mean, there was
that
a part of
movie
me that was like,
with Woody Harrelson.
part of this house could be mine.
We could live here.
I could have a wing.
Yeah, you can't hang out with her all the time. You're gonna need a sub, So like, I'll step in, get out whenever you guys are ready to party.
Yeah. So, in short, stay away from Scoop Fest.
Yeah,
that-
seems like good advice.
No, don't do that.
Well,
I mean, buy tickets and then stay away.
Yeah. Buy tickets to Scoop Fest.
No, for real, get a wig.
Get the
What?
long hair.
Yeah.
No, I think you get the English judge wig, the barrister wig.
Just get some spray, some baby powder
Yes,
spray.
the ponytail in the
Yeah.
back with the little ribbon on it.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh,
The
that's
curls on the
It's a
side.
different vibe. Different
Yeah.
vibe.
You do that, dude, and your woman's gonna be like, "Oh, fuck Jacob! Like this is presidential."
No, that's what he's
Like-
trying to avoid.
Yeah, oh, that's right. Yeah. Where do
Seriously.
people get their early tickets for Scoop Fest?
HeyScoops.com.
Just heyscoops.com. Yep.
Buying mine.
Any experience in waiting until your partner's ideal physical specimen? I kind of like the idea of trying the wig, and then maybe she'll be like, "Oh, you know what? I
Yeah.
don't like that.
Yeah.
I like how you
that
were
actually
before."
is not too bad. Yeah.
I think that's
Very
that's-
optimistic of
Seems
you
like
to
a
think
dangerous-
that.
seems like a
I was
dangerous
like,
tactic.
No, that's
no way
not
this
how
could
this
go wrong.
works.
Yeah. I don't know that I think with very rare exception, most people are not their partner's ideal physical specimen in part because I think your tastes also change a
for
lot.
sure.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, like the if you had to dream, your dream girl when you were 16 is not your dream girl when you're 40, and so like even the things that you find attractive, like all that stuff I think really changes. So I think it's an unrealistic expectation to tell yourself like, I really hope that I can be that. I think it's actually really healthy to accept that perhaps you're not, but you're the one they chose, and like there's a partnership here. And I think that that's a sign of really healthy relationships when they can tease like this kind of stuff and say like, oh, Jacob, or, my celebrity crush is, this guy or whatever. And it's like, I think that's really healthy. Like, I like to see that kind of stuff with couples. I've met way too many couples that are very fragile about that shit. Like, really? Why don't you just go fucking marry him? And like, he's a podcaster in Las Vegas.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like you are acting way too threatened.
A podcaster in Las Vegas, that's just unattainable.
That's right. Honey, he's so off my level.
Impossible.
I could never. I could never be worthy.
Someday, I'm going to find a podcaster.
Trust me, I've tried.
Someday my podcaster will come.
I mean, if SJ gets out of the way, I'm on deck. Anyway, Kevin, there is no hope, so definitely get a prenup. I think that's probably the move.
I think wig attached to hat.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
So you just put it on.
Yeah.
Those little visors
They
that have
have
the
those.
spiky hair.
Yeah.
It's
But
like
I'm thinking,
that,
but with the hair down the side. Yeah.
At
We
least
should add that to the merch
we'll
shop.
start with
Just
the
hair
Jacob.
hat?
Oh, fucking yes.
Oh my
Great
god.
idea.
The Jacob hat. Oh,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
a great
We better
idea.
get on
This
that
is a good
before
idea.
SES does.
Yeah,
Yeah, we gotta
Jacob
beat 'em.
lookalike hat.
If I had a supplier for it, they'd already be up.
No, I think at least start with that in the bedroom, Kevin. Ease into it. Just do the Jacob cosplay. Get you a pair of headphones. And just.
Is that the first time you've ever heard that, Jacob? Jacob cosplay?
Oh,
for
yeah,
the
all the
bedroom?
time.
Yeah,
all
yeah,
the time.
all the
Yeah,
time.
okay.
Yeah.
There's a kid.
figured.
They have a kid at the Adam and Eve store. As we do get to the end of the show, I want to remind you can sign up for more at patreon.com/therapy. You can get the extended show ad-free a day earlier, as well as enjoy our live chat Discord community and our weekly deep dives, interviews, skill shares, research roundups, and rants. And quick note on this. So I'm one of those people, I listen to podcasts all the time. I sub so many different podcasts. I have never patroned any. And like, for me, it was like I would listen to these shows that I live on, like they are part of my week. I care about the hosts. I enjoy the content. And I would just never put any money in it because what they do is they say, hey, go to our Patreon, you can get these extra things. And for me, I'm like, well, I don't want the extra things.
Yeah.
I'm getting exactly what I want. I skip the ads. I don't really care about ads. They're pretty easy to skip. And so I just never cared. And the other day, a couple weeks ago, actually, I was listening to a podcast, one of my favorites, and the hosts were taking a beat to do their promotion and say, hey, it'd be really great if you support us. And one of them just said something that really actually hit me, where he was like, look, Hey, Jim, I'm talking to you. But it said something to the effect of like, look, if we're part of your week, if you feel like this is good for you and like this, you like this kind of content and you get more from this from like maybe your Hulu subscription or some bullshit that you just keep in the background. And, we're an hour and a half of every week. We're up to like 6-8 hours of your life. Like, put something on that, even if you don't need the additional stuff. Like, it really does mean a lot to us because when we see those names show up, it isn't about the dollars so much as it's about this is an actual person that listens to our show, because we can see the numbers like in the systems, but who knows who
like
those
a small
are.
business. It's like supporting.
It really means a
your
lot.
neighbor.
When you read a review or you see a name show up on the thingy, it is always an exciting moment for us. We get the email from Patreon and it says, hey, Bob Smith is now a $5 member. And it's always really exciting to be like, oh my God, that's so awesome. Like, even though that person might not show up in the Discord, even though they may not even want the extra content on Mondays, even though they don't even care about skipping the episode's ads or whatever, it just means a lot. And so like when I was listening to that, it really hit me because I was like, fuck yeah, dude. I listen to this podcast 8 hours a week, the show that I was talking about. I have subscriptions and shit for $15-$20 to fucking HBO and Peacock and all sorts of bullshit just so I can watch like one football game or whatever's going to air.
Right.
And I think like, I don't even know the fucks at NBC. I don't know who the fuck owns Netflix, and I give them my money. I know the guys on this podcast. I like the guys on this podcast. And if I could throw $5 at them, that's more personal content to me anyway. If I could choose who gets $15 out of me, I'd rather be these guys.
Yeah.
And just, it really hit me. And so I actually had patroned a show for the first time, and it's like, yeah, and I don't necessarily want any of the extra stuff. But anyway, that whole process happened in my mind, and I thought, I'm going to bring that up to our listeners too, because I'll bet you that does resonate with a lot of people.
Yeah.
Resonate with me.
Also, you can do the year-long memberships.
That's neat too.
The year-long
Patreon
memberships
allows you to do that.
Yeah, you save a little money.
Do we have to set that up?
I don't think so. I
think it's an option when you check out.
Yeah.
And like, just so you all know.
But like, we don't have to set that up on our end to activate it.
No, I don't think so. I'll double check.
Yeah, we should look into that.
Yeah, because there is the option. I remember seeing it before, and I don't think I've ever told it, no, you can't do that. And I think we do have people that do. And a lot of shows will do, like, the Patreon rule is like, oh, here's $1 per episode that you publish. And so you're kind of rewarding them every time they put the pencil down and work. At Pod Therapy, we've never done that. We've just made it a month thing. So even if you're a $5 member, like in true Patreon terms, you're $1 a show member, you know. But like, we just always made it easier, just make it a month. That way it was like, look, you know, we're not, if we do extra content in a month, we don't want you to be like, oh shit, I didn't budget for that, you know, like or whatever. We just always felt a little nervous about it. So we're like, look, just, it'd be great if you joined us. But anyway, so just those are some thoughts on that. Patreon.com/therapy to throw some bucks in the hat and just join the party. We do have some new theropods to celebrate. Who's new to the Theraparty?
We got Manuel Cavazos.
I believe it's pronounced Manuel.
Manuel? Mm-hmm. Cavazos.
Yeah, that part you nailed.
Okay. And Amanda H.
I believe it's pronounced Amanda.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And the H is silent.
Amanda.
No, that's right. It's Amanda.
Amanda.
Actually, you might not have look at it because you might have to set up the yearly thing.
I think we do.
I don't see how to. I don't see how to do yearly on yours yet.
Yeah, that's a cool idea, though. It is the second week of the month, which is 1 week later than we usually think. All of our theropods and therodactyls.
The second week of the month.
University Jeff, Robert Paulson, Polygon, Colin, Scoopstronaut, Corey Owens, Joseph Bengrazio, Christine Phillips, Gavin Bristow, Carrie Terhark, Stacy Westerland, Kiwi Fruit Scoop, James K, Craig Little, Take It EV Podcast, Don Door, John Hunter, Scoopatron, Todd Canfield, Felicia Butler, David Sorensen, Shayla Bullock, Lauren Izzo, Stacy Coleman, Adam Petanuzzo, Matt Lenegren, Scoopator Ascending, Ian Soto, Jessica Cyphers, Lee Popsicle, That Josh Guy, Dr. Scoop Little, Mama Ninja Scoop, James Dawson, Sarah Olo, Grumpy Lakemead Park Ranger, Sam Buck, Karen McCulloch, What Weekend, Some Nobody, Lila, Be Gay, Do Crimes, Kelly Gagner, BP, Nippy, Brian Emra, Matthew Johnson, Alec Lancaster, J.D. Congan, A Literal Pickle, Matthias Vandebrandt, James Hubble, Andreas Saavedra Molina, Max the Ginger Scoop, Ken Tinsley, Water Girl, Stacy, Protect and Scoop, Julius Capel, Anona Nurse, Smells Funny, Matthew Kubik, Chad the Safety Lad, Walker Fluke, Philip Guyton, Tim Mystery, Almost Doctor, Nurse Joey, my bad, Duffy the Slowly Getting There Therapist Bear, Joel McMillan, Christopher DeGursey, Kierkegaard, Irvin Sanson, Trisha Ortiz, Chris Conway, Melissa L. Geisler, Kirsten Johnson, DJ Sewart, Mississippi Hippie, Scott A., Patty Glad, Fifi, Eli, Heather W., Freya Lawson, Kyle, Todd V., Anthony Camarada, David Williams, Kate Please, Buddy Dobbins, Eric Dyer, Trontastic, Glitch Scoop, Shai Ruparel, Alita Balaiz, Bug Nuts, Stephen Landon, Amanda H., Adam Belaze, Robert Cole, Kenneth Wong, John Finlayson, KJ, Mr. Poth, Carmen Perry, K. Pizzle Dizzle, Temporary Reality, that's it. Jeff Darnell, Jameebe, Jacob Hurt, Syncytium, Ray J. Shark, Persephone Hazard, Silka Daniels, Recreated, Jacob Billingsley, Nathan Mookie, Jenny Rose, J.W. Reynolds, Alex Jardine, What Does Scoop Mean? James S., Juan Monterey, Dylan Colopy, Chris Courtney, Wolfie05, Nora Monaco, Autry Johnson, Ben Sherman, Dale the King, Cedar Hayden, Adam Goff, Jesse Miller, Livy, Terrible Tay, and Acrylic Curve.
And Therodactyls. Ice Blue Scoop, Brian Lehman, Scoop Brady, Fred Bashara Jr., Andrea Anderson, Scoop Lindsay, Frozen Cusser, Lori Ellsroth, Robert Ward, Richard Bruins, Linda Brandemeyer, Sai Shonagon, wow, Scoopy, Just, Okie Scoop, Dank Butta, Brooks Lyle, Adam Ribchick, as Jim says, Lovely Spark, Mr. V, Jim and Manu, Adam Warren, and Manuel Cavazos.
Manuel
Cavazos.
I love how you read the names, because you read the names like you're disgusted. Like
spits them out.
Brian
Lehman.
Scoop Brady.
I'm just trying to make sure I'm reading it right. I'm too focused on that.
Yeah, the trick is to not to try.
I know. Apparently.
We also, of course, want to thank the benevolent, revered, generous, and flagrantly pro-therapy diehards who love you all so much that they give till it hurts. The Therapartners, Dirty B and Pickett. And we want to thank our bosses, the mysterious mysterious and shrouded Illuminati members of the fan club that they're producers. Thank you, Jake Schneider, Myra, Robert Brownie Jr. Mint, Smitty Scoop, Ben Don, Judy Schneider, Kayla Lansbury, Malia, Leon Kassab, Mason Miller, Richard fucking Macy, Carolyn Albert, Kevin Chamberlain, Tess Miller, Sammy Scoop, Ben Stanley Slapping Your Face, Sarah Smith, Adam Hathaway, Byler T, Mike Helm, Paris, Samantha Cohn, Darren Cunningham, Lib, Team Monaco, Thunder Cougar, Falcon Scoop, Matt and Lisa Tangeman, Heyo, Oscar Swan Rose, A Sunny Boy, Slurpee Kai, Motherfucker, Sandra McWaffle, Dan Martin, Hannah Marie, Andrew Langmead, Emma Kane, and Elena.
And if you'd like to hear this episode uncut and unedited,
And why wouldn't you?
and enjoy our spontaneous side projects, go to patreon.com/therapy. And thank you for supporting mental health.
That's all the time we got for this week's session. Want to thank our landlords, Matt Mattingly's Ice Cream Social Podcast, and thanks to those of you who contributed to our show today. We really appreciate it. But remember, Pod Therapy isn't something to keep all to yourself. Share the episode with the world. Tag us on the socials when you do. It's at PodTherapyGuys on Instagram, Threads, and Twitter. It's /PodTherapy on Facebook. And don't forget about all the extra goodies at patreon.com/therapy.
Do you want to submit a question to the show? Ask anonymously at podtherapy.net or email us at podtherapyguys@gmail.com. I'm Nick Tangeman.
I'm Whitney.
I'm friends with retired dudes.
Thanks, and we'll see you for your appointment.
He's
next week.
DTF.
I'm down to friend, bitches. Hey, guys, you down to friend? Friend me in the mouth.
All I think of is Jersey Shore. Classic film
It's football time.
quality.
Done and up. Done and up.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.